Assalamualaikum, this is Sumro and my topic is NumPy array. So I'll be talking about few topics. That is what is NumPy and how can we import NumPy on our application, and I'll be talking about the dimensions of array, like how can we create an array and then dimensions of array, then arrange method in NumPy array, and then access, how can we access the rows and column using axis equals to 1 or 0, then shape and reshape method. So moving toward our first topic, that is NumPy. So NumPy is a Python open source Python library that is used for working with arrays, and as we know that array is not a data type in Python. So array list. So a Python have list in it, but list is a heterogeneous data type, and it contains like elements of multiple um, data types. So it consumes more storage, more memory, and it is slower than array. So if we are dealing with the large amount of data, we need array. So NumPy library provides us an easy way to create an array object that is up to more faster than the list Python list. So that's why we use NumPy, and NumPy stands for numerical Python. It was created in moving towards NumPy. To use NumPy, first we have to install it, and then we have to import it on our application wherever we are writing our code. There's a keyword import NumPy. So this is how we can import NumPy library on our application. After importing it, we can use its functions or operations for them. Then num equals to numpy.array. So here I have created an array using numpy.array, and I have stored in the num variable that contain 1 2 3 4 5 elements, and as we printed, we have 1 2 3 4 5 array that contains these elements. So then we have import numpy is another keyword that is used to give an alternative name to a numpy. It means wherever we need to call the NumPy, it means wherever we need to write this word NumPy, we can use a instead of NumPy. So the rest of the program is same. NumPy equals to n.array, and we have not tuple but list here that contains 1 2 3 4 5 element, and it converts the list into n-dimensional array. Then we have our array here that contains 1 2 3 4 5, and that is n-dimensional array. Like I have printed its type that tells us the type of the particular object. Now we have the topic that is dimensions of array. It means we know that array can have multi dimensions. Array can be of multi dimensions. It can have one dimension. Array can be of two dimensions. Array can have three dimensions, and it can be of higher dimensions. Like 1D array contains a single row, that is unidirectional array or linear array. It contains a single row, and we can it looks like this. And then we have 2D array that contains a single unidirectional array or 1D array as its element, and then we have 3D array that contains 2D arrays as its element. So this is how they looks like. This is just an example to visualize the arrays or dimensions of array. It can be of higher dimensions. It can be of higher dimensions. It can be of zero dimensions also. It contains only a single element. So here we have num equals to n.array, that is 12, and it means I have created an array that contains only single element. So 12 is an element that is stored in the num variable. After printing it out, we have 12 there. It means it has no direction, so it is 0D array. Then we have 1D array, n.array, and there is a single row 12, 23, 1 and 2. So this is one direction, unidirectional array. So we can call it also a vertex. So after printing it out, we have an array that is a single that has a single row, in only one row, and we can print it in two ways, using the print keyword and without using print keyword. Then we have 2D arrays that contains 1D array as its element. There are two rows, and we can recognize the dimensions of array by looking at the initial starting in the brackets, large brackets. If there are two brackets, then it is 2D array. If there are three large brackets or extend brackets, like you can say, then it is 3-dimensional array. 3D array if there are 4 or 5 up to so on. It can be of many it can be of higher dimensional array. So we can recognize easily by looking at the bracket. Then we have entire matrix here that contains 2D, that contains 2 rows and 4 columns. So now we have 3D arrays. 3D array is an array that contains 2D array as its element. So as I told it, we can recognize the dimension of array by looking at the initial brackets, or we have another method called n.dim, that tells us the dimension of array. So here we have 4 rows inside a single row. It means we have inside a single matrix, we have 4 rows and 4 columns. So in that I have stored in the ARR variable, and it means we have 4 by 4 matrix here. So 3D array looks like this. Then that is arrange method. Next topic. Arrange method is basically used to give a range to an array that it will print from this particular range to up to this up to the particular range. Just like I have used the 0 and 11 numbers. It means n.arrange. This array will print from 0 up to 11 minus 1, and it can accept up to 3 arguments. And I have like stored in this array into the named variable and printed it out. And we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, and 10. So if I write 12, if I would write 12, a single element, then it will execute from 0 up to 12 minus 1. So this is how we can use arrange method. Basically, we are giving a length to an array. They print from particular element to up to this, from particular range up to this range. And the third step, third argument can be of jumps. Like we want to skip the numbers, and we can use the third parameter. So moving toward the next slide, there is x is equals to 1 or x is equal to 0. So x is equals to 1 refers to the rows, and x is equals to 0 refers to the column. That means if we want to perform any operation on the rows or columns in an array or in a matrix, then we can use this keyword x is equals to 1, that is for rows, and x is equals to 0, that's for columns. So I have created an array, a 2D array that contains 2 rows and 3 columns, and stored in the variable ar.sum. So I have used the sum keyword here, and that is used to add the rows. X is equals to 1, that refers to the rows. So it will add now the rows, it will add the elements of each row with each other. Just like it would add the 1 plus 2 and plus 3 plus 3, that is 6, and then it will add the second row's elements, 3 plus 4 plus 5, that is 12. So this is how it adds the each element. So for columns we have x is equal to 0, 0 refers to the column. So instead of 1 we can use 0, that will add the columns with each other. And so this is how x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 0 works. So moving to our next topic, that is shape and reshape method. So basically shape method is used to, it tells us the shape of our existing matrix. So just like we have a 2-dimensional array here that contains 2 rows and 3 columns. So n dot array and that is stored in the, I have taken a word array. I have stored this entire matrix into this variable array. And after using this shape method, ray.shape, it tells us the number of rows and number of columns. The first dimension tells us the number of rows, that it has 2 rows, and the second dimension, that is 3, it tells us the number of columns. So basically shape method tells us the structure of matrix, that is it number of rows, and it tells the number of rows and number of columns. So then reshape method is used to reshape the existing matrices. Suppose I have an array that contains elements from 0 to 12 minus 1, 11. And I have used reshape method to reshape the existing matrix. And I have an array that contains elements from 0 up to 12 minus 1. 6 rows from single row and 2 columns from 12 columns. Then I would use reshape method. So reshape method helps us to change the structure of our existing matrix. Just like then after using reshape method, we have completely different matrix. So that's all. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.